Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, I try to talk to as many people as I can to learn what they enjoy in fishing, to learn what they've discovered in fishing. And it helps me not only to be able to give you a better report on the radio, but it also gives me a better understanding of our sport, how it's changing, what it offers other people. One of the people that I talk to often, and I really wanted to reflect on the things that he told me the other day, it's Mike Bean. Mike's a young guy that I've known for several years. He's helped me do TV shows. He's always given me information on the fishing that he finds. But here's what I can tell you about Mike. Number one, fishing is a huge part of his life, and it's a different part than what fishing is for me. He has different rewards from fishing. But the other thing about Mike is he's so honest. And here's the clincher. Mike cares about those fish like he would other people. I mean, they mean everything to him. So his number one focus is on fish care. And he told me certain things are bothering him. And one of them, and we'll talk about it at different times, and I've already spoke a lot to you, but this forward-facing sonar is something that really, really has bothered him because it's changing the sport. For him, it makes the sport something so different, and people that don't have it aren't going to have a chance to fish the same way. He says, other types of fish finders and so forth, yeah, it shows you where the fish are. With this forward-facing sonar, you actually see the particular fish. You can watch which way it's swimming. You can see how it reacts. It becomes the whole focus of your fishing. And for him and for a lot of people I've talked to, that's bothersome. The other thing I asked Mike, I said, Mike, let me ask you something. With all the tournaments, because remember a few moments ago, I told you that fishing, it has a different reward for Mike than it does me. For him, tournament fishing has become everything. It really brings him joy, and so that's the most important part of the whole thing. But he said, I asked him, I said, Mike, what do you think is happening? Do you think that the fishing pressure of more and more tournaments is affecting our resource? He says, the fishing pressure, I don't believe is. But what does affect it is people that don't practice fish care. They don't. He says, when I'm fishing, I'm looking in my live well constantly, make sure those fish are okay. If they aren't, I'll make sure the water's cold enough. I'll make sure there's oxygen in there. I make sure I fizz the fish, do everything I can to make sure that I don't lose a fish. And if everybody did that, if everybody that came here to enjoy the incredible smallmouth fishing we have, world famous now becoming, then we wouldn't have to worry near as much about our resource because we can take care of it in doing that. We've learned new ways to take care of our fish. The other thing Mike told me, he says, I will never, ever fish during the spawn. I would go, if I knew there was any spawning in the areas I'm fishing, I'll leave that area because that is a threat to those fish. So one final thing he told me that shouldn't shock me and it shouldn't shock you. He said he was fishing one day and he saw this buoy and he wondered, what in the world is that buoy doing there? And so he just wanted to pick up the line that was attached to it. Wasn't like a state or DEC buoy type of thing. Picked it up and there, with real heavy braid, was 2 trophy-sized smallmouth that somebody had tied to that buoy waiting for the tournament, and that's what they were going to bring in to try to win money. This is cheating, and it's going to happen any place that there's money. I don't care what the sport is, what we're talking about, but it kind of dazzled me because I tend to be naive that way, and I tend to trust everybody. But it's important that we think of all these things, and this is part of our fishing world. So finally, in talking with Mike, I says, what excites you about next year? He says, I'm excited because I want to see where fishing is going to go. It's constantly changing, and I really want to find out how people react to some of these changes in tournament fishing. So that conversation has taken me a long way. I can share a lot of it with you, and I really want to give credit to people like Mike because there's a lot of people just like Mike out there that love this sport, love the fish that they catch, and they realize that if they don't take care of them, they won't be here tomorrow. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.